Hi, I'm Ilene Dillon, MSW. I'm known as the Emotional Pro, and I'm an international speaker, a coach, a family therapist, and a webinar leader. And I'm also the author of Emotions in Motion, which is available on Amazon. I'd also like to tell you that I'm not a medical doctor and I'm not here to dispense medical information. So if you are having a problem, please consult a professional mental health person or a professional doctor that you can make an appointment with. And thirdly, I'd like to ask you to submit any questions that you'd like to submit to me, and I'll answer them after I complete this little presentation. Today, I want to talk with you about giving help, asking for help, and receiving help. And these are things that, while they're part of our everyday life, we don't talk about very much. And yet, there's some important things to know about them. I don't know if you've ever had the experience of, say, you have a child who's having difficulty doing something, and you step in and offer them help, and they get angry with you. Or perhaps your spouse or partner is telling a story and they don't remember all the parts, so you step in and help them to remember the parts and they get angry with you. Or you're at work and somebody's really crushed in a work project and you step in and do part of the work and hand it over to them and they get angry with you. And you wonder, why do all these people get angry with you? Because after all, you're only trying to help. Well, the reason they do is because you're out of harmony. You're not following a universal principle. And the principle says that help that isn't asked for never works. You know, as a psychotherapist for 50 years, people paid me to give them help. They would come into my office and they would pay good money to receive help from me. But it didn't take me long to figure out that even though they were doing all of that, if in the session I gave them help and I didn't check if they wanted it first, they would resist. They wouldn't accept the help. And that's when I learned about the principle that help that isn't asked for never works. So I devised this little technique that seemed to work quite well. Whenever I wanted to give help, I would say to the person, "Would you like my help?" And I got answers like, "That would probably be good for me. Sure, why not? Maybe it would be helpful. Oh, maybe it won't do anything." Which of those is a positive yes response? Not one of them. The only response that's a yes is a yes. And if you don't get a yes, then leave the person alone. Do not give the help. Walk away and let them resolve their own issue. Otherwise, they'll get angry with you. So, what about asking for help? I've always had a hard time asking for help. Recently, I'm getting better, but I thought I should already know the answer, that I was behind other people. They knew more than I did. I thought it would be better to be independent. I didn't want to bother people. Does some of this sound familiar? And then I had a conversation with a man I was dating about 50 years ago. His name was John, and he was independently wealthy, and he was writing a book on the nature of reality. And I was a single parent. We lived at distance apart, so our relationship was largely on the phone. So he would call me every day, and at some point during the conversation, he would say, "I had a great writing day today. I asked my angels for help, and they helped me to understand this concept or that concept or to write it better." And he kept telling me that he asked his angels for help, and he got it. Well, I found it kind of irritating, and finally one day I said to him, "John, are you telling me that you ask people you can't see for help, and they help you when you ask?" "Of course." "John, I can't even ask people I can see for help." How do you ask people you can't see for help? Well, I just ask them, he says. I just ask them. I just say, I need help here. Will you help me, please? You ought to try it, Ilene. It really works. Well, I was a little resistant, but eventually I got in a situation where I felt like my back was up against the wall and I was feeling pretty desperate. So I said, okay, if anybody's out there, will you please help me? I need help. And I became immediately calm. And I stayed calm. And it encouraged me to keep asking. And I can't tell you right now whether there actually is anybody out there or there's not, whether there are angels or they're not. But I've been doing this for close to 50 years now, and it works every time. So I want to encourage you. You see, I was working with the principle that help that isn't asked for never works, because I was asking for help. And what I eventually learned is that others really can't help us unless we ask. So it's very important to ask, and I'm so glad that my friend John taught me how to do that. And then there's receiving. Again, many years ago, I was on a trip with a beautiful woman, a friend who worked in my office named Sue. And I was driving, and she was receiving my gift of driving. And as we traveled down the road, she would say, "You see that dog over there? I had two like that. My first husband gave them to me. Look, see those lamps in the window of that shop? I had four of those in my living room. A boyfriend gave them to me. Ah, I just saw a sign for a trip to Bora Bora. I went on a trip with Bora Bora with my second husband. He surprised me with the trip." Sue, I know you're beautiful, and therefore people will want to give to you. But Sue, how is it that you get so much given to you? I don't get anything given to me. I even create my own birthday parties. Nobody gives me anything. How do you do this? Well, I know they're going to give me something because we're in a relationship. So I tell them what I want. It sounds like you think you're doing people a favor. Oh, I am. Well, Sue, you think it's a favor to tell people what you want so they can give you a gift. I realize that I think that it's painful for people to give to me, so I save them from having to give to me by not telling them anything about what I want. Oh, she said, do you like giving things to people? Do you like giving help and gifts to people? Yeah, I do. Well, would you prefer to give them something that you know they want, or would you prefer to give them something that you choose? Well, I'd prefer to give them something I know they want. What makes you think you're so different than anybody else? She challenged me. And that day I learned from Sue that instead of it being painful for people to know what it is that I want or the kind of help that I want, it could be a gift to them to tell them, I need this kind of help. I really would like to have that. I would feel good if you would give me a present that was like this. And I can't tell you I'm doing it perfectly, but I've gotten a lot better. And it never had occurred to me before that telling someone what I'd like to receive would be a benefit to them. And I noticed as we went on this trip that not only did Sue let people know what she wanted, but when they gave it to her, she was gracious. She noticed it. She said something about it. She was grateful. She appreciated people's effort, and she allowed them to give to her. She didn't say, "What's this for?" as I have done myself and other people have said. She was gracious, and she was grateful. So when you give help, Be sure to ask the other person if they want your help, and if you don't get a clear yes, turn it loose. Don't offer them another thing. If there's something that you would like to have or some help that you need, ask for it, because you can't be helped if you don't ask. And finally, when someone or something does give you what it is that you need or the help that you need, receive it graciously and gratefully, and your life and theirs will run together more smoothly. Thanks for being with me. So, okay, are there any questions? Okay, I'm not seeing any questions per se. So, oh, good. Oh, Anna is here. Here's the chat over here. And Heather is here. Hi, Heather. Um, and who else? Jennifer. Oh, Jenny Tasker. Hi, Jenny. All you wonderful people uh, from the Wellness Universe. Thank you. Jenny says awesome advice. Peggy is here, and Heather said that she really enjoyed it. All right, so does anybody have questions? All right, if you don't have questions, just keep in mind that there are a few little tricks to make asking for and giving and receiving help work the very best for you. And I want for all of you to have wonderful lives that flow smoothly and are full of emotional mastery. So thanks for your support and your attendance. I really appreciate and receive what you have given to me.